actor or actress or anybody that wouldn't, that's the gold standard.
Absolutely. I mean, so remember, I don't know if you remember Brittany Gastineau from the Gastineau Girls. So I
Hmm.
love that show. And so I did a PR event at a gallery with them, and I didn't know that the Kardashians were coming. So I went to the Abbey with my friend because I was like, this is getting boring. And I come back and no joke, there was 150 photographers in front of this tiny gallery. People were jumping on hoods, they were standing on cars. I was like, is Prince William here? Like, what's happening? And then I turn around and it was like as if I felt an apparition. I was just like, I felt this energy and then I smelled her. So for anyone who has never met Kim, she smells fabulous. I've worked with them. They smell alluring. There's something, I don't know if they're mixing these smells. I don't know what's happening. So I turn around. She's so small. I'm 6'2", so she's, I think, 5 foot, if that. So she gives me a big hug, super nice. Courtney was there, Chloe was there, Scott Disick was dating Sophia Richie. I mean, the whole family was there. So I remember their note to us was we only want to be photographed in the left side of the gallery, right? Because that was the side with the good light. And so they said any photographer who takes a photo by the end of the night, we task you, like they literally were like, swear on the Bible, Amir, you're going to delete all of those photos. And that was my job. So I had to go around to these Getty photographers who are, if anyone knows, anyone who's worked with Getty photographers, they're a nightmare. They don't want to delete anything because they want to get paid. So I'm like,
Hmm.
you need to delete these or Kim will never pose for you again. And these people were deleting, like, they were like, she's never going to pose for us. We're fucked.
You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. And they were lovely. And then the next morning, I was in all the gossip blogs as Kim's new assistant. And I was like, this is amazing. This is the best day of my life.
That's
Which
a
is true,
good.
but it was great.
That's good. Yeah, once like NPR called me and they were doing, I don't know what it was, like some interview about like, do I feel it's right that the Kardashians control their narrative so much?
Mhm.
And they wanted me to speak out as a pop culture expert. And I'm like, I just don't want to be involved in this. Like, listen, I have a voice on me. I'm not afraid of anything. And I'm just like, am I being paid for this? Like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't going to help anyone listen to my podcast. There's no business win here for me. I just don't need to come here and spend a day and speak out against the Kardashians for some radio special you're doing, which great to NPR. But I'm like, thank you for honored, but passing.
Let's not alienate them. And even with Andy, I remember Andy Cohen kind of thought he's going to go in there. He's like, I deal with Housewives. I deal with Summer House. I deal with, Southern Charm. I can deal with the Kardashians. And that reunion was so measured, controlled. Like, it was
Mhm.
kind of funny. I was like, I still watched it. I still watched it.
I will watch anything they do. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, do you think, because Kenya, like, she implies that the door is open. She implies that her and Bravo parted ways, that it's a different time today in a different world. And, they were going to make a hard decision. So I basically made it easier for them. She implies she left on her own. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I have to be honest here today.
I don't know if she left on her own accord. I mean, it's back to the whole Dorinda of it all. Did you get paused? Did you get fired? Like, I know that's very contentious for the housewives, and it's hard for them to kind of accept defeat. Remind me if I feel like Girls Trip, we need a new season because I haven't watched it in so long. Was she on one of them? Kenya did one of those, right?
I think she did, yes, the first season. I think she did, yeah, the Teresa. She did the Teresa, Melissa, Luann,
Mhm.
Ramona season, that
Okay.
first season. Yep.
Okay, good. So she's done that. I was gonna say she should do that. Has she done Traders? I feel like she would be good for that.
She has not done Traders.
She would be good for that. She'd be
Dancing with
good
the
for House of
Stars.
Villain. House of
Right, she
Villain.
has not done Traders. Yes, like it takes me like listen, you're preaching at the choir about my memory. These listeners can know everything. It all blends together. You know what I mean? It all blends together.
It
I
really
think she's great. I think she's one of the best parts about that show, and I say bring her back. But I think Phaedra is phenomenal. She's my second favorite. I'm from Atlanta. That's just me.
love her. I love that Phaedra's like a floater housewife. She's on Dubai. She's on Married to Medicine. She's now back to Atlanta. I like that because she comes in and it's funny because I was watching old episodes of Atlanta and she's not as disarming. She's kind of mean. So she found her way when she's like, oh, go jack off in a cup. Like she's a little below the belt, but she kind of found a way to kind of be shady, but it's funny and it's resilient. And I don't know, I like something about her. I really do.
And I think, I don't know, I think her. I think maybe because the whole thing with Candy and she was like gone for so long. I find her now shady, funny. I agree. I don't think it goes low anymore. I find her like from Dancing with the Stars when she was voted off, she reminded everyone that she got further than any housewife, including like Vanderpump,
Yeah.
Erika Jayne, she's got the farthest. But then I guess they asked her, like, are you excited for the new season of Married to Medicine? Are you going to watch? And she's like, honey, I'm a housewife now. I don't need to watch Married to Medicine anymore, even though she was on Married to Medicine. So she gets the game, I feel. I feel she gets the game, you know?
She gets it. She's like, let me do this. I'm going to get back in the good graces of Bravo. I'm going to get into the good graces because I feel like Married to Medicine needed a jolt of something. So they brought in Sweet Tea, they brought in her, and they like give it a jolt. So I think she's smart. She knows how to play the game. And I just wish that like there was a way for Nene and Kenya, I hope, to bury the hatchet and then come back together. I don't know if Bravo could create a show for them. I know that Nene obviously had the lawsuits and all that, but I feel like if there is a way to create a show that Nene could be at the helm of, I don't know what it would be called. If it wasn't Housewives, it would be called like, I don't know, my big Atlanta life or I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Give
You
her
think as a PR expert, someone that's it, you think the door is open for Nene? I mean, she was on E hosting the after carpet with Aria. Like, you think Nene's bridges aren't burnt? I'm not leading you in any way. I'm curious.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. Because I think about it and I'm like, okay, Bravo, yes, she's done you wrong. Like but you also did her wrong. So I feel like certain people, like Leah McSweeney, I feel like has burned that bridge to a crisp, right? Brandy Glanville, I don't think there's coming back. But Nene, I just feel like she just was like, give me the respect I'm due. Give me the respect you give to Jill Zarin, to Teresa Giudice. Give me the respect I'm owed. And let's be honest, the amount during the pandemic and even now, the amount you heard about the white refrigerator, you're in the ghetto, all of the voiceovers of Nene getting that Rolex from that man, all of the memes. I mean, people still use her audios. I mean, this is 15 years later, 12 years later. Like, so she's iconic. So I think Bravo should build something around her. I mean, they built 101 shows around Candy. And no offense to Candy, I really like her, but I don't know if she has the same star power as Nene. That's just a fact. I don't think she does.
I love Candy too. I agree. And I mean, like, I think it's kind of like if you have a fight with someone, or even just like something happens in your work day or work, it's kind of like you have a big problem. Like if you have a fight with someone, or like something explodes with work. And then there's so many other things that go wrong. You have more falling outs with people or more work to, and you're kind of like, Nene was our biggest problem, and she's banned at the network. But now we have, yes, a Bethany Frankel who was like labeled something reality reckoning, whether she, it came up with it or not. She takes every chance to speak out about the network, just said RHONY is trash or whatever. Right. We have Leah McSweeney, who I don't know if you saw, like the other week, she was like literally walking into court thinking that she's Beyonce. It's like Page Six is on the street and they're like, we have a comment. And she's like, who are you with? It's like, okay, settle down, darling. Like, this isn't, you're not Kim Kardashian. And I mean, it is Page Six out there. We do want to hear this, but it's not like there's 800 photographers. And right, Leah's in the courtroom. And yeah, and we also have Brandy, who I just think whether it's she did it, didn't do it, it's such a mess. Like, we're never going to touch that again. And I love Brandy. Let me be clear. But I think, yeah, I think at the end of the day, those are three people that are a bigger band problem than Nene. I think it's like, okay, like, listen, in this industry, right? Time heals a lot. I said Nene would never be back, but then she was back on E, and I'm like, I'm really starting to think, like, what did she really do wrong?
What did she really do
She
wrong? Is what
sued,
I
and if you sue, but like, I mean, all right, it's entertainment. Like, listen, if Atlanta fails miserably next season, I don't know. Maybe that's your final move. I mean, you just put Dubai out to pasture. It's not coming back. I hope, I mean, I know you like looking at the restaurants. I hope that they put New York out to pasture after
agreed.
this season.
Agreed.
Maybe if it's a bad season of Atlanta, just bring Nene back and give it one last try and then just freaking call it. Because
I
I don't think this season is going to be, I don't see how it's going to be good if you try to edit Kenya out and she was there. And then it just doesn't seem, I don't know, maybe it'll be great, but it doesn't seem like, I mean, they're taking their time and editing. It's not coming this year.
oh
I don't
my God.
know.
Like, come on. Like you need to, and the thing is, another thing that I think, and not to like defend Roni, because it's really
Yeah.
And I really like Brynn. I talk to her a lot. I like
And
them.
please defend it. Like, I want someone to convince me that I'm too harsh and that it's like, it's my city. So maybe I'm harsh